chambers and stranger functioning cells echo through the halls. Whenever candlelights flicker, when the air is deathly still, that is the time those are present, practicing their ghoulish delight. When cryptos creak and tombstones quake, spoons come out for a swinging wake. Happy haunts materialize and begin to vocalize. Grim grinning ghosts come out to socialize. Close your eyes and don't try to hide. Shrouded in a dark disguise. Grim grinning ghosts come out to socialize. When cryptos creak and tombstones quake, spoons come out for a swinging wake. Happy haunts materialize and begin to vocalize. Grim grinning ghosts come out to socialize.
Woo!
What's up, everybody?
Hello. Let's see here. Just getting some. Oh shit!
Final sharing and tip typing done.
Yeah. Stay on page. Don't create an event. The event is already there. Leave page. What is happening? Nobody's watching yet, so I'm allowed to do this shit. I'm allowed to be.
There was one,
here.
and then there was none.
Wow.
Yeah, there was one that popped up like while we were doing the intro. Ain't nothing but a thing. Listen, we'll talk into the void.
Oh! They're back.
It's fitting for this movie.
Don't forget, if you chat in the Facebook group, we can't see who you are. So tell us your name, your age. I'm not going to say that. I was going to ASL.
Oh yeah. We're that old.
Oh boy. So we're going to talk about Event Horizon today. 1997 space movie. Directed by the same guy who directed Mortal Kombat, which was a far superior movie, I will say.
But it's also from the same guy that brought us, Resident Evil, Alien versus Predator.
So what you're saying is he was very hit or miss.
Well, I mean, and
he had more misses. He had more misses than hits.
And before there was Rob Zombie putting his wife and everything, Paul W.S. Anderson was doing it.
Who's his wife?
But I'm pretty... Mila Jovovich?
Oh, really?
Huh. Yeah, I'm pretty sure his wife is Mila Jovovich. Yeah, did all the Resident Evil movies, Monster Hunter, all that stuff.
Who was she in Event Horizon?
No, nothing.
Oh, I Googled and I was looking and I must have misunderstood what I was Googling because it looked like it said she was in it.
Oh no, he was doing the Rob Zombie, put my wife and everything before. I think Rob Zombie was doing it, but I don't know if they had met by then because this was 97. I think they met closer to 2000.
Laurence Fishburne, though. Laurence Fishburne's kind of a badass in this movie.
Laurence Fishburne, Sam Neill. I mean, those are two people that a lot of people know.
To Event Horizon. I don't like the spaceships that they made for this movie, Chuck.
Why not?
They just look corny. Like Event Horizon, like it looks like a cruise ship with like the name decorating across the front of it. Like, and then in the beginning when he was like in his little pod getting ready and they zoom out and you see all the space crafts and stuff, or like the space living quarters, there was like the pods, like the one he was getting ready in, but none of them connected by anything. So it was like, how do you get from your pod to the other part of the ship. Nothing's connected.
Or is there?
I'm just saying, man. Unless they were like Captain Kirk beam me up Scottying from room to room, like it just didn't seem like there was any way to get. It seemed like they were designed in a way to like try to look cool, which is, I mean, what movies do, but they weren't designed in a way for people to be like, oh, this makes sense. Like, why did it need to have that really long hallway between the front of the Event Horizon and the booty of it?
Well, it explains it in there. That's the reason those explosion things are there. It's to separate the gravity drive from the rest of the crew. The gravity drive is in the back, and there is no living quarters there. It is just the engine and like your basic.
That was the most BS explanation for it. Because you're right. They said it in the movie, but I was just like, no, this is dumb.
It was an experimental engine. I mean, I could see, them wanting to keep, because any form of med bay, living quarters, dining, whatever, was in the front of the ship, away from the, the gravity drive, basically, is because it was the very first one experimental. So who knows how bad it could have went. I guess.
I mean, it went pretty bad, Chuck.
Yeah, we saw. Now,
it got lost to sea.
Yeah.
In the
what
galaxy.
I did enjoy is that how it looked. It is very a haunted house in space. Like the Event Horizon, the inside is like very gothic in design and everything like that. It does look like a haunted house. Like when they step into the Event Horizon, it really gives you that feeling of a like an old haunted house. There's something going to be.
It was like a late 90s Hot Topic in space.
Kind of. Well, like the way they took some inspiration of the designs of like how everything was spiked and steepled and everything was the Cathedral of Notre Dame was some inspiration for the way they designed it. So to me, yeah, and well, it fits too because they all did all the filming in England.
What kind of doctor was Sam Neill supposed to be?
I think he's he's like a scientist. Same thing that Sheldon Cooper is. He's one of those experimental physicists and stuff.
Like when they introduced him, they just said doctor. So I expected him to be a doctor, and I was like, man, he's fucking dumb for a doctor.
No,
and then on a place that he wasn't like a medical doctor. That's why he didn't know.
He's a paleontologist. I mean,
yeah. I just like when they call him a doctor, and then like they go on to like early in the movie before it's really established that he's responsible for Event Horizon and everything. Like it just seemed like they were making him look really dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And it was weird to me because it's like, if he's supposed to be a doctor, why doesn't he know a damn thing about anything? Dr. Peter Weller. That's right.
Yeah, they had to, due to budget restraints, they cut a lot of different stuff. Like there was a whole section in the beginning that actually like introduces the crew of the Lewis and Clark, and they save a person that's trapped on a mining vessel. Like that whole they had this all storyboarded and ready to go. Like you kind of
and it probably had some nice like 90s like sitcom theme music with it, like "Thank you for being a friend," and then they would show like the character names, like.
Yeah, they probably very like while they're spinning in space and just go.
And apparently they found like a lot of the old footage they thought they lost on some old VHS that the director had. So he's talked about releasing it.
I have the special edition Blu-ray from Shout Factory they brought out just like last year. And there's a few like they show and you can hear him talking over it. About there's no sound or anything because it's just video from what they have found.
Yeah.
What's up,
Steven? How are you? I think Steven was. Oh, never mind. Scott Monster Perry was in the Facebook group. That's who commented about Peter Weller, who
What's
I'm
up,
sure everybody
Scott?
knows from.
Jeez.
Sons of Anarchy.
No, me and Scott, we go to conventions together.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's I remember you mentioning him before.
Yeah. Because he brought it up whenever I posted it yesterday, I do believe, on Instagram. He said that it's Hellraiser in space. To me,
Yes!
this is a better Bloodline Hellraiser in space than Hellraiser, in space.
I'm glad. Like, that was, as I was watching, I have that in my notes. Like, this is like a bullshit Hellraiser in space, and now we know how Laurence Fishburne ended up on the Predator's planet.
Yeah,
those basically are my notes. Yeah,
he don't have any memory of what happened, and except for he burned up a guy.
That's validating to hear somebody else call it like a Hellraiser in space. Like, that makes me feel less crazy, because as I was watching, I was just like, because didn't he even use? I wrote it down. Well, didn't he use a line from Hellraiser, like a waste of suffering or something?
This movie, I do believe, came out before Bloodline, I want to say.
But the waste of suffering is from like the original, isn't it?
Well, it is a it in the notes I've taken, it pays homage to Hellraiser. And even when they designed the gravity drive sphere and the interlocking circles, that was their homage to the the limit configuration.
Yeah. I'm almost positive, and I wrote it down, but I can't find it now. I'm almost positive that he says something like a waste of suffering or something like that. Like he uses the line, like Pinhead's line from the original Hellraiser. Because I was just like, what? Hellraiser line Event Horizon. I am absolutely convinced that evil Event Horizon is part of the Hellraiser universe. The mechanism in the ship is equivalent to the cube. You can't tell me Sam Neill doesn't become a Cenobite. Let's see. This is a post from it's a post from Reddit. I should probably point that out.
This is not my opinion. This is Reddit.
Yeah. I love this. Like, this related, but Hellraiser Bloodline is also Hellraiser in space. I've never seen Hellraiser Bloodline, so you lost me on that one when you were saying that.
Oh, well, that's it's part 4.
I don't like the Hellraiser movies.
They're not bad. Like, if I sat down and told you to watch them, yeah, I would say watch 1 through 4, but then walk away.
I love Doug Bradley in them. I think Doug Bradley is great in his role as Pinhead. I think that I like the way he talks, but the Hellraiser movies that was one thing that with this, I was just like, this is trying really hard to be Hellraiser, and I didn't like that. And I didn't dislike the movie as a whole, but I was just like, is this over yet? Like, why? How is this still going? Oh my goodness, the ship's possessed. Like, as soon as they're like,
where do you fall on it? You're very you're like, it's like you watched it.
It was okay. It's just like when they're like scanning for life forms and they're like, oh my gosh, seems like there's life everywhere, but we can't pinpoint where. It's like, okay, so you're trying to make it out to be the ship is possessed or something. Like, cool.
Well, you gotta remember too, we have been very saturated with weird shit and stuff like that. It is 2024. We've seen some things. This was 1990. We'll say
7. It
was like an 11-month shoot. It was very quick, I think, is what they said. Maybe even less. But to get everything out and done, so it may have been 1996. So you gotta think it like that. I mean, it was because they were quoting in 2015 we would colonize the moon, and then 2040.
Yeah,
the Event Horizon was built and disappeared, and then now we're in 2047. That's not that far away. And
it's funny because they were like
almost as close as that to we are in 1996 and 1997.
Right. It's funny because they were like, we're going to colonize the moon, and this ship isn't going to make it any further than Jupiter.
Yeah,
that's it. That I found funny. I mean, It didn't even make it to Uranus.
You need that programmed rim shot.
Yeah.
Well, Clive Barker did consult on the film's pre-production, just to let you know.
No,
So,
it
like,
doesn't
there
surprise me.
is probably some, like, there's some feeling there because, you know, there was, like, a homage to Hellraiser, and then, you know, he did look in on it and stuff like that. So there might have been some feelings about it.
It was edited by Martin Hunter. He's like one letter away from Martian. That's funny to me.
What's funny to me is that Draco Malfoy's dad was the Doctor.
Yeah, yeah, dude.
There's so many people in this
Lucius
that I
Malfoy.
forgot that was in this. That was in other stuff, like the guy Jason Isaacs. He plays DJ, the med guy. He freaking you know, Draco Malfoy's dad, but in his scene, his death scene with the display and the you know, dissection and everything, that scene is the only reason they made the gurneys and the operation tables mirrored.
That makes sense.
It's so whenever they did that scene, you would be able to see you know, his image and all that.
I'm trying to remember. I felt like DJ and Smitty looked a lot alike. Like there was a couple times where I like confused them in their roles in the movie.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I was
you know
like,
who-
wait, didn't he die? Oh wait, no, that's Smith. That's a different guy. Like that was weird to me.
Yeah, Smith later goes on to be pretty sure he's like the sergeant of the group in Dog Soldiers. You ever see that movie?
No.
How you ever see Gotham?
He like 2 episodes.
Oh, he plays Alfred Pennyworth.
Huh.
He plays the butler. But the guy that the young baby face, I don't think you see him in movies anymore, was the Jack Noseworthy. He plays the Justin the kid that's in the airlock. Yeah, you know, he's the devil worshiper in Idol's Hands.
Dude, his ears were fucking nutty. Like his face looked so small, but then his ears were just like Dumbo. Man, they really
had
like
to do was like flap him and he'd go right back in the airlock.
What was Laurence Fishburne gonna do if he got to the lock in time? Open it up anyways? Like
I don't know.
He's rushing to get to the airlock. He's like, I'm gonna get to the airlock. No, don't let him out. Don't let him out. Oh my gosh. And then he gets there and it's like it already opens, but had it not opened, to get to him, he would have had to have opened it. So he would have had blood spurt out of his eyes anyway.
Like maybe there was like
this
an
wasn't
emergency
a very thought out
thing he could have like hit on the outside that keeps it from opening and then forces it to open from the other side. I don't know.
It just wasn't a very thought out plan, you know?
Mainly because that scene where he jumps, catches him, and pushes him back in was a Frankenstein concept from the opening scene that they scrapped from the storyboard, where they introduced kind of all the people that were saving on that mining ship. That is a scene they used and they liked it, but they didn't feel like it would hold enough emotional weight because you really didn't know anybody yet. But they felt like, hey, you got to know Justin. He's the youngest of the group. He's baby bear, so it would feel a little bit more, carry a little bit more weight, if you would, if they try to save him. So
I guess I'm just like, he did something stupid. Why reward him by saving him?
He was underneath the power of the sphere.
He appeared in the Bon Jovi music video Always with Carla, Gugino, and Carrie Russell.
The more you know.
The more you know. That's funny.
Well, I enjoyed the movie. Enough. Like, I'm not a big, haunted house guy. Like, The Haunting and Haunting on Hill House and Bly Manor. I'm like, ghosts.
The Haunting on Uranus.
This is the Haunting above Uranus.
Above Uranus.
Yeah.
But
I enjoyed it. I know you're kind of like,
I feel like anytime they have to make a movie in space, it just doesn't work. Like, you look at the Predator movies. you're never in space in the Predator movies. Like, you're on a different planet, but you're never in space. Like, Jason X, not a good movie. Signs.
So Aliens didn't work?
I don't really like Aliens.
I didn't say if you liked it. Did it work?
For me, no.
No. To me, it did, because, I mean, the whole space thing is they're wanting you to feel so isolated that's the fear, is like, no, in space no one can hear you scream. That's the line. That's the tagline of the because it's true. It's it's like being out on a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean. There's literally, when you look out in the middle of the night, it's just black. There's nothing there, so no one can help you. Like, if something happens, that's it. It's going to happen. You gotta just deal with it and let it wash over you and happen, because no one's getting to you in time.
Right. And that's with this, like, I don't know what it was, because to your point, like, Alien works, but I feel like it's almost simply because you're really in one location. And you can argue that you're kind of on location, but they're jumping between ships, they're out of the ship, they're in the ship. Like, I feel like Alien did a good job of that isolated feeling, since they were only inside that single ship for pretty much 95% of the movie.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, they were moving around so much that it gave you like this feeling of there being a bigger playground, for lack of a better term, for them to be venturing through. I don't know if that's what it was for me or what, or might even just be the simple fact that it was so reminiscent to me of Hellraiser that it came across to me as somebody's own take on Hellraiser. Like, once I had that stuck in my mind, I could not shake. This feels too much like Hellraiser.
Yeah, there was multiple takes they used and stuff like that. They went with the very vague, it could be hell or it's another dimension that's as bad. Like, they never specifically said, this is hell. It's a different dimension of chaos and all this other stuff. So they never used that, and that's the line they went with.
Why
there was
is it
play of like, it is hell. So
why is it that in movies with space, and even Star Wars for that matter, they always like make you sleep in liquid?
There's a very scientific reason, most likely. It probably number one, it protects the, like, sound and all that other stuff. It's harder to penetrate, water. Listen, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a smart man. Okay.
I just, like, it's just weird to me. Like, Matrix, even, like, you're in that like placenta,
it's the safety of the liquid, of like, that's how we came into the world of like and we were inside of a uterus in liquid and all that, so it's kind of like it's a protection type of a situation. But I'm sure there is, because the one doctor explains it. He's like, as fast as we're moving, we've got to be in this like liquid in like a sleep state, or the pressure from the movement will crush your skull, basically. And like crush everything.
Event Horizon?
Yeah, right at the beginning, like whenever he's injecting Sam Neill in the neck and they're about to get into the pods for the first reason, he just talks about it. He's like, this is the reason we're just going from Earth to Neptune. And it's only going to take what was like 56. It's like either 56 days or 56 hours or something like that. I think it was 56 days.
So I missed part of that, because that's where I was like, how does he not know this if he's a doctor? Why doesn't he fucking know anything?
Well, even if he's a scientist, he should know a little bit about it, which is a little weird. He created this engine that's gonna basically open a wormhole and get you from point A to point B. But they used that explanation he gave in another movie, in Interstellar. Interstellar basically used the same exact explanation that Sam Neill gave, as in basically, you're here. What's the fastest way? Well, just put those two things together and we're there, instead of having to the woman's body. Yeah.
The composer also did the music for Dead Zone. That was neat.
Well, I said that this movie helped
God, excuse me.
inspire the game Dead Space and push forward Doom 3 on like bigger systems and stuff like that.
Huh.
You ever played Dead Space?
No, I'm not really a gamer.
Yeah. I used to be very much, but I've let off a little bit. But I do still love some horror games, and Dead Space is one that is a great game to visit.
I was actually just telling Emily I want to get a PlayStation so I can play Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 again.
So you're just gonna look for like an old PlayStation?
Yeah. I already found one. It's $69. Nice. It really is though, so it was funny. I don't know, man. Like it was an enjoyable movie. Like would I watch it again? No. Do I wish I would have I can't remember what movie I saw that I thought was this. I just remember they're like floating and doing it. And I think he wakes up and it was all a dream.
I can't help you with that. Usually, I'm pretty good with like scenes from movies, especially if there's doing it involved.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now there was some confusion. I think someone said something to me. But no, I'm like, no, that's the movie Sphere. There is a movie that they walk into a room and there's a huge sphere in the center of the room that has liquid and they touch it and they pull back and it's liquid and all that. But that takes place, I think it's underwater on Earth.
Wasn't that Jodie Foster?
Good Lord, I don't know.
1998.
It's like how you said you watched it once and you're glad you did, but you probably wouldn't watch it again. I'm glad that as an adult I went back and watched it because I watched this when it came out in 1997. I was way too young to be watching this to be able to like sit down and watch this. I was probably 11 when I watched this.
What year were you born?
87. So I would say, a video store release came out. So I'm going to say probably 11. I was way too young to watch this and really be able to understand it and get a grip on it. So I'm glad that I went back and watched it. Like some of the movies I do want to go back and rewatch. Like that's the reason I put Virus up.
It would be really cool though if you would find movies that you have never seen. So
that's what's so hard.
That, sir.
I did actually get contacted by.
This could get good. We're talking about alien horror movies, and you're telling us how you just got contacted.
Yeah, it was in my sleep, and I think it was rectally. By somebody, the people of Wagyu Films, I think. And they asked me to review one of their movies called The Deep Ones or something like that they put out. And they sent me like a link for the movie to watch and then review. I have it. I have like 14 days to do it, and I just got it like yesterday.
Do it.
So I expect that on the channel eventually.
I'm looking forward to that.
I said I would, and Chess is like, it's just very important that you're honest. Like, don't. I was like, I will be. I was like, one thing I remember me and somebody was talking about the Soka Sisters' latest zombie movie, that Festival of the Dead.
We were talking about that last time, yeah.
How many people have just been blowing smoke up their butt of like, you guys are so great. This is such a great movie. This is just, you're honoring Night of the Living Dead and George A. I'm like, you guys are fucking lying. I don't know if you're thinking about you're going to get a handy behind the gym or something by saying these nice things, but it's a bad movie. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm trying. But I have also in my notes the suits weighed 65 pounds and sucked to wear.
That would suck. I'm trying to,
because they couldn't sit down or nothing. So once they were strapped in, they couldn't sit down in the suits. They couldn't do nothing because of a lot of the bags that's on them and stuff like that.
They didn't really show them coming in and out of the suits that much either. Like it was just like, oh, they're in the suits.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we're in it, and it was quick. Like for suits that big, I would imagine it took a minute to get in them, but they were in that.
The dude that flew, oh boy, the guy that like flew in his suit when he was like, I'm about to be ejected into space. I don't know what to do. Yeah. That I thought that was kind of cool how he like used the air to shoot himself back.
There's some
And then they're all like, "No, you're gonna shoot the hull and break the window." And he's like, "I'm gonna do that anyway, motherfucker."
Yeah. He's like, "That's my plan. I'm
Yeah.
crazy. The ship ain't gonna let me die."
I'm a Cenobite.
But yeah, so these are Sam Neill has the greatest crazy scream that and it's like it's a very monotone, like you're like
Yeah, he really does.
Because I remember so much from it's this and In the Mouth of Madness. He has two like kind of big. I guess he just doesn't have a scream like a scream queen would. So it's that you're like, all right, Sam. I guess that's the best we're getting.
Well, what's your scream? Have you ever? I feel like if I had to go in for movie audition, like, all right, let's hear your scream. I'd be like, no.
It's like, yeah. I'm like,
Ah!
So do you want me to keep everyone interested in me as a masculine character, or do you want me just to be like?
It would be like Jonah Hill screaming in Accepted.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. Ask me about my wiener.
There's like something falls from the ceiling, and he's just like,
That's one of the first Justin Long movies I ever watched. Was Accepted.
And he keeps coming out with bangers, man.
Listen, he is a modern screen king. Okay,
He really is.
I enjoy him, but I liked it. I hope everybody else did too. So we'll do the Rotten Tomatoes since we are 31 minutes in.
All right, let's hit it.
The Rotten Tomato score, the tomatometer was only 34%, but the audience score was 61.
The audience score, does that keep growing, or would that be around the time of release?
The audience score, like you can't put a lot of weight in Rotten Tomatoes, anyways, because who knows who's paying for what. But the tomatometer is your critics, and I think after your initial run, it's kind of locked in. It's like, okay, the critics have spoken, that's all, and then the rest are just people. So I do believe that score can alter as it goes. Like it could have started out low when a movie first came out, and then what is it? Almost 20 years. Not almost, but we still got a little bit of time. 17 years later, it's 61.
Roger Ebert gave it 2 out of 4 stars. He felt it never managed to become the intense, thought-provoking experience it wanted to be. I agree with that completely.
Yeah, like it was looking to be something deep, and it didn't reach.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I felt at the end of it. Just like I just felt like it missed. Horror Cat Dad, you're gonna have to tell us more about that. Tell us what your thoughts were once you saw it.
Yeah,
like it just kind of missed its mark. Like it was like
just felt flat. It was cost and time, because the original run of the movie was 130 minutes, and I think it's a tight 90 minutes maybe. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I didn't write down time, but yeah. So
they shaved when movies were short.
Yeah, they shaved a lot off due to, like I said, budget and everything else, because you're doing tons and tons of CGI. I think 1/3 of the budget was of the CGI was whenever right at the beginning when Sam Neill is in his little room shaving before he gets to the Event Horizon. I mean, to the Lewis and Clark, and they show Earth and the outside and all that. So a large amount was used. This, you got to remember, this is early CGI days too, and you can tell with some of the stuff floating in space.
Yeah. The arms when it goes to dock.
Yeah.
That looked terrible. But like you said, I mean, that's what they were working with at the time. And
I mean, some CGI ages well, some doesn't, and some is like, listen, I understand when the times were. Okay.
They also shaved off a hardcore scene of the people killing each other. Yeah, that's right. They actually brought on like people that amputees to make it so they could be more brutal with the kills.
Yeah. And
then adult film stars for some of the scenes as well, for some of like the sexual scenes.
Yeah, if they didn't cut it, they had to cut it because they would have received the NC-17. Like they couldn't have got a rated R. They would have a rated X because of the intensity of it. and that's why they cut so much of it and stuff. It sucks that you can't just release something unrated and allow it to run and let the people see it. That who's going to see it.
I feel like I don't know if I would say this about many movies, so I don't know if you'll ever hear me say this again. This one I feel like deserves a remake. I think with today's advancements in science, or not science, but CGI and things like that, I really think they could remake this and make it more enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. I'd watch it if they threw it out. But I watch a lot of stuff, so the footage was lost. I remember in some of the commentary when I was watching the extra stuff on the limited edition Blu-ray, they talked about back then in 1997 they were still pumping out hard on VHS. DVD was fairly newer for them to switch over to and stuff like that. I think Blu-ray was a little bit further down the road in the early 2000s. So they weren't thinking about, hey, let's keep this. Let's hold on to this because we'll be able to put it as an extra on the Blu-ray. They're thinking about what remember, Titanic came out on 2 VHSs, and that's like just a 2-hour movie.
Right.
So think how many VHSs you would need for some of these movies that are coming out now. So they were scrapping this stuff, and tragically, a lot of this the footage that they did shoot is lost.
And tomorrow is the anniversary of the sinking of the Titanic, so there's that.
R.I.P. Rose.
That's right.
Oh no, she lived. Jack.
I wasn't gonna correct you.
Jack's the one that died. Yeah, it's good.
I wasn't gonna correct you.
You're like he's dumb. We'll let it go.
No.
No. Chesley told me the supervisor of the house. She went on she left for a cruise, and she's gonna be on a cruise all next week. And she's like, you need to tell her that it's the anniversary of the sinking of the Titanic, just so she has that in her mind while she's out there on the boat.
Man, that's savage.
Yeah. I was like, it's pretty messed up, bro.
I wish I would have known this for last month's when we were talking about American Wolf in London, but I didn't hear it in time. But did you know that I used to be a werewolf, but I'm all right? No, oh.
You've been working on your dad joke.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, Kat, that if you got to kind of put yourself back into the 1997, things like that are kind of still new, and you're watching it late at night. It's brand new. You don't know nothing about it. There is creepinesses about it. It suffers very hard from the, loud, it gets you, for no reason, very loud sound, and it tries to jump scare you, and you're like, it's uncalled for. It didn't get me. I get what you're trying to do, but you just get on my nerves because it pops real loud or stuff like that, and then it goes back to a normal sound.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's a victim of its time, that it could have been a better movie. And it wasn't bad. It just left me feeling like, you're all good, Papa Goss. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah, you just have
it
to
just left me with a feeling of I couldn't wait for it to end because I felt like it wasn't going anywhere. And then when it was over, I was just like, all right, cool, I'm going to bed. There wasn't any kind of reward. A lot of times you end a movie and you're just like, man, that was so great, that was awesome. I don't know, it just didn't really give me anything to care about.
It's there's no payoff is the issue, is that you're not getting what they're not wrapping it up for you so you can sleep at night or hope there's a sequel in any way or anything like that. I understand that.
I'm writing a ticker here, so keep on talking.
Oh, you're good. So I'll throw down some more knowledge on you. This was back to whenever some movies didn't do well, but then when they were released on home video and rental and stuff, they did a lot better. And this is the case for Event Horizon.
Yeah.
They didn't do horrible, but it was pretty negative in the in theaters. But then once it come out on, because that's how we used to judge back in the day when you're walking through the store rentals, is you see the box, the cover art and stuff like that. And this was this big creepy front end of a ship that has like the cross where the window is and stuff like that. So you're like, ooh, what is this? But
similar, and that goes along with Cat Dad's point of Ghost Ship. Like something about the cover art for Ghost Ship is, in my opinion, very reminiscent of what you have for the cover art of Event Horizon.
Yeah, and you got to think like this. Since he brought up Ghost Ship, is a great way to say it. Ghost Ship has one of the most memorable big start kills. Where that cool, have you seen Ghost Ship?
No.
You haven't?
No,
do you know the kill that I'm talking about?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Do you want me to spoil it for you?
Yeah, go right ahead. I'm not gonna watch it.
So it's back in it's early I think early 70s, 80s, something like that. Tons of people on this deck of this ship. They're all drinking, having a good time. It's a party, it's a celebration. A metal cord that is holding like masses and stuff snaps and just comes across the whole ship and severs everyone in half.
Oh,
there's probably over hundreds of kills on just that opening.
If they kill everybody, do they have to give refunds?
That's the good thing now. They just chalk it up to it was lost at sea. But that kill is a very memorable kill. But when you stop and think about it, the movie really wasn't that good. Like if you watch the whole movie, you're like, dude, the opening kill was badass. Then you watch, you're like,
That's a bummer.
So, just like with the cover art thing, you're like, this it'll bring you in, and you start watching it, and it's like, well, this wasn't a great movie.
Yeah.
Paul Anderson directed Soldier with Kurt Russell, and it was right around this same time. But Kurt Russell saw the movie, but like in anticipation of working with Anderson, and he told him, he's like, it may not be, you might get some negative reviews and flack for it now, and it may not be what you want it to be right now, but you're going to be happy that you made it in about 15 years. Like it's something that you did, and you're like, I did it. I feel like I did a good job.
I don't know if I've ever heard of this Soldier movie that you're speaking of. I'm looking at it now. It doesn't look familiar.
Oh, I've seen that one too. Like I watched a lot of horror and action. I even seen
also
Ghost Mars,
Death Race.
That was a horrible movie. Yeah,
I have Death Race, the original 2, 3, and Beyond Anarchy. That a boy.
Seen all those too, and the last one is horrible.
Did you see the original Death Race movie? Death Race 2020, I think it was called.
Yeah, Death Race 2000.
Is that what it was? 2000? I just watched that a few weeks ago.
But I don't know. Like I said, I enjoyed it. Yeah, Soldier. It's. I don't know. Do you like late 90s action movies, Josh?
Sometimes.
Well, I mean, it has Kurt Russell in it. So
almost sounds like a Universal Soldier kind of.
It has that feel of like it is a man that has been worked on, and he's a little bit more than man type of a feeling. And basically, he's dropped on like a trash planet. And he builds himself as a man, as like, okay, I'm going to start being a normal person. As he start getting normal, basically the people that he worked for with other soldiers come to that planet and he has to fight back.
Ooh. The filmmakers first shot scenes involving Russell laying down, followed by scenes of Russell sitting, Russell standing but not moving, and so on. Spoke only 104 words. That's weird.
Yeah, he's very quiet during the movie.
During the first week of shooting, he broke his left ankle, then the top of his right foot. Wow, that's messed up. Poor guy.
I think that's all I have in my notes that I want to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I had like DJ as a bit of a loose cannon. He kind of, but then also I realized I was mixing DJ and Smith up all the time, so I could be wrong. It would be a cool 3D movie if they remade it today. I would love to see it in 3D, like especially with like the water and shit that was going around. I had to like think about like, wait, was this a 3D movie? And then with the time frame, I didn't figure it was.
Yeah, as soon as you said it, it brought me back to my first thought whenever I put it on, because as much stuff as they have floating around and being floating around, it does feel like that's kind of what it was marketed towards. But
Yeah,
it was not marketed in 3D at all.
Hail and farewell. I'm trying to see if I had. I should escalate it very quickly. Clearly, he's a scientist, not a legit doctor.
Oh, well,
my favorite line of the movie. Don't you walk away from me, mister. Like, didn't Laurence Fishburne say that to Sam Neill? And it was just like, wait a second. Did you really just say that? Don't walk away from me, mister.
Fishburne character is, I don't know how to take him.
I'm telling you, dude, this was a prequel to Predators, and this is how he ended up on that fucking planet.
Yeah, the ship that he is living in on Predators.
Yep.
Is the ass end of the Event Horizon.
If Sam Neill's wife slit her wrists, why were her eyes gone?
I think it's just a foreshadowing of what will happen to him.
Oh, this was something that I wrote. Smith, Dead Space. James McAvoy. If they remade it, James McAvoy needs to play Smith, because I feel like they looked a lot alike. And then they need to get somebody that looks nothing like him to be DJ, so you don't get that confusion.
Yeah.
Just a prequel to Predator and Hellraiser in space. How does he have eyes again? Those are my final notes.
Well, I told you he had eyes again because the ship gave them to him. The ship brought him back.
The ship was so kind. New. Yeah. And then you had the hole in the clouds that reminds me of Uranus. Another Uranus joke.
You just have like a list to the side of just Uranus jokes. You had to meet your quota.
It was all right. I should have thought to ask my dad about it, because I know this is something that he would have rented from Mega Hits back in the day, and I would have been curious to hear his thoughts.
Well, going back to like introducing characters and stuff like that, whenever he slams DJ on the table and he like rips his shirt open to start surgery, did you notice the huge prosthetic scar that's on his chest?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we don't know anything about that or why DJ's the way he is. It's because like he had a lot of childhood trauma and like surgeries when he was younger. Like this is all backstory that they wanted the crew, like the actors themselves, to kind of create themselves. Like, hey, here's your character, work a backstory out, and we're gonna do this, and that's all part of that 130 minutes. And they just cut it, so you have no idea why is there a scar on him.
Maybe they need to have a book. They'll write a book about it that includes all the backstory, and instead of movies and mayhem, we'll have books and boredom, and we'll get together and we'll talk books.
Well, I would have to let you take the lead on that one, because it would be one of those like Chuck hasn't read anything and Josh has.
Tell me, man, we need to find movies we haven't seen yet.
There's plenty out there. I gotta start being careful. I sat down and watched House 1, 2, and 3 this week. And
now that I have a TV in my office, it'll be easier to watch movies, but at the same time, like, I never really turn the TV on.
John suggested it, that I should do a video of like Tubi really is the hidden gem for horror. Like there's so much good horror on there that people are just looking over because it is a free thing. And there is a lot of garbage on there. There's a lot of free stuff or like Tubi original stuff. But there's a lot more on there than what they suggest. Like you can go on there and type in, a word and it will pull up movies that aren't even on the browse horror section.
Yeah.
So like I said, I watched the first 3 houses House 1, 2, and then House the Horror Show, which is just called the Horror Show because you're not going to find it if you look up House 3 on there. And, they were fine. They're your basic 80s, I think it was like 85, 87, 88 maybe, or 89. Hell, I didn't know. Oh, God, what is his name? Lance Hendrickson was in the Third House movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He was from, he's the guy from Alien, right?
Alien, Pumpkinhead.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I've never seen.
Man's
I think I
Best
started
Friend.
to watch House and I was like, I'm not in the mood for this right now. I turned it off.
So if you want a very introspective, like this is what my representation of PTSD after Vietnam is like, that's House 1. House 2 is like a goofy adventure. It's very fantasy, not so much horror. There's like a few very few horror elements to it. And then 3 goes back into the horror. And then there's a 4th one, but it's not on anything that I can find.
Yeah.
And Cat Dad, tons and tons of full moon movies. Like I watched all 3 Baby Oopsies on there.
Why?
Jesus help me. I watch. Sometimes I just watch shit. I don't know why.
Why are you so mean to yourself?
I don't know. I watched all 3 Baby Oopsie movies, and then they made a Jack in the Box, like the Jack in the Box from the toy movie. They made a movie of that, so I watched that. It was bad too. I tell you, sometimes.
What else we got here? The fast food joint. I don't know what that is. I'm guessing that's another full moon.
I don't know. Like there's movies that I've seen. I can't even think of the name of them.
You keep trying to go. So let's. I'll ask you this: what do you have going on this week for your channel? Anything exciting?
Like I need to do the review on that movie. So that could be up sometime this week. But other than that, I think I'm dry. Like I don't have any boxes coming in. Ooh, I did get a mystery pack from Fangoria.
Oh, that sounds cool.
It's it comes with 3 of the. So there's Volume 1 and Volume 2. Volume 1 was 97 till 2015, and then Volume 2 restarted in October of 2008. It comes with 3 of their vaulted Volume 1 magazines, and then it comes with it comes with pins, stickers, trading cards, stuff like that.
You just bought those straight up, or did you do like a subscription or?
Okay, so I bought the mystery pack. You can go to Fangoria and just go to their merch and stuff, and it's in there. But I do a subscription of Volume 2 of Fangoria. And back in the day, I did a subscription for Volume 1 for 2 years. And
what's Volume 2?
Volume 2 is the new stuff. It's the one that is you get for a year. It's expensive because they went out of print. Like they quit. After 2015, Fangoria pulled the plug. It just wasn't financially something they could do anymore. People just wasn't reading, and they weren't selling magazines like they used to. Because it used to be they would send them out as a subscription, but then they would be on your newsstand.
Yeah.
And thanks to the internet, like people were very there's very few people like me and you, Josh. Like how you like to you buy records and you like to listen to records and music on on vinyl. And I like physical media, as in if there's a book I want, I don't want an ebook. I would like to have the physical book just like you,
right.
Or the physical magazine. And the of course the Blu-rays and stuff like that. People weren't like that in 2015, so it started to go the way of the dodo. And they just didn't keep up, so they quit. And then they basically said, "Hey, we're going to bring Fangoria back in 2018, but it's just through subscriptions. We're not going to put any on the newsstands. We're not going to put any out. The only way you were getting this magazine is if you pay us way too much for a magazine. It's like it's 20 some bucks.
Yeah.
For a magazine, but it's a nice thicker and it's well made compared to what they used to do. It used to feel very newspapery.
Yeah.
But this has like a nice thick,
she
but,
thick.
Yeah.
What's up,
So
Johnny?
volume 1 is all the old stuff from 79 to 2015, and volume 2 is their relaunch in 2018 till now.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what's in that mystery bag. I'm looking at it now. It sounds pretty cool. They have a really rad. I almost bought it, but I was like, I feel like a poser since I don't read the magazine. But a really, really rad Fangoria windbreaker.
Yeah,
It has like the logo on the front and the big logo on the back. Love that.
They change their merch every once in a while, and they put new stuff out. I know for Pride they did like a rainbow Fangoria and stuff like that. They had a really cool Fangoria that had looked like a little murder toolbox underneath it for a little bit.
That's exactly what I was looking at Papagas. I have like a Furnace Fest one that I wear now because I don't really wear it anywhere else. So I use it for my bike rides. But the Fangoria one, it's really rad. So yeah, let me know. Have you already got that in, or you just haven't opened it yet?
It should be in like next week sometime.
Nice.
What's going on with you, Josh?
I don't really have anything. Trying to see what. Oh, I opened up the wrong thing. I have a package coming on Monday, but I don't know if I'll be doing a video for it. Yeah, I'll do a video for it. I got a shipment coming in from Graveyard Goods on Monday, so we'll do something with that. Vinyl Ventures, every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, a new one drops. I got really lucky, and Trustkill Records has been dropping in very small increments certain records, and like 2 weeks ago they dropped It Dies Today, the Cative Choir. 5 copies only 5 available, and I got one.
Yeah, you sent me something about that. Like you said something. You're like, I got one. Like,
I was so stoked. So I did a video for that, and Trustkill Records like took a clip from my video and shared it on their socials. So I finally have a Vinyl Ventures episode that gets more than 3 views. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, tomorrow's is going to be Can't Swim, This Too Won't Pass. So that's exciting. And I have Vinyl Ventures scheduled all the way out till May 5th. So they're not stopping anytime soon.
Wait, listen. If you ain't watching them, you're missing out.
I mean...
Well, see, the problem is I'll watch... only thing that is hooked to my For Horror's Sake account is my laptop, and I never get it out except for this, and then when I'm at work, and then my phone. But I watch YouTube on the Roku at home. Like all the TVs in the house are hooked to my personal YouTube.
Yeah.
So I'll watch your videos, but I'm not underneath For Horror's Sake. So I'm like, well, I ain't gonna comment because people will be like, well, who the hell's this? And you may not know. And then I'm like, maybe I don't want people to know my personal.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Hey, as long as you watch it long enough to hit the thumbs up and make it count, that's all that matters. I don't know what the time frame on that is.
Listen, I just breeze in and thumb up and roll out.
There's something that I've learned. How long do you have to watch a YouTube video for it to count as a view? 30 seconds to count as a view. So you have to watch for at least 30 seconds and then hit that.
I just breeze in, give you a nice little forehead kiss, and just flutter out.
See, that's I feel it. I feel the warmth. Papa Goss, thank you so much. I appreciate the support for sure. But yeah, I just haven't really been in the mood to make videos lately. I haven't really been in the mood to even do the editing or spend money.
Yeah, the money thing is hard for me. Like, spend it I don't need to be spending it. There's other things I need to put it towards, stuff like that. So, like what? I canceled. I don't know. I know I've been talking about it every once in a while. I'm trying to find a fucking house in this economy where basically if you're not making $100,000 or over a year, you're not going to find a house. Yeah.
I got my house at like the perfect time.
Yeah. I was looking at a house at that time. It was like $75,000 It was going to come with, they were going to put an oven in, a fridge, washer and dryer, and everything, and that was part of the deal. It was a 4-bedroom house, 3-bathroom. They did have some roof problems, and it would have been like $300 a month on my mortgage. But then somebody vandalized it and busted the roof open, and it flooded. And we knew it was the neighbor that did it because he didn't want nobody living there, because he spray painted on the fence.
Ridiculous. So ridiculous.
Saying, hey, call before you look at this house, bad house, whatever. And he just wanted the land so he could rent it out, and nobody was selling it to him. So we knew he vandalized it. It messed it up. I'm like, no. I was like, one of us would kill each other if we had to be neighbors.
Yeah.
So I pulled out, and then I got with Chesley, and we started looking. And then that's when the world became. You remember whenever a square foot was only $70 a square foot? Now it's $300 a square foot. Gotcha, bitch.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. That's. I bought my
October.
I bought my house, and like everything just like went insane, like almost overnight. Like the market like shifted. It's all about timing, and that's ridiculous when it comes to keeping a roof over your head.
Yeah, it was right.
I'm working on it, Johnny. I'm working on it. I promise. I'm trying.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I tell Josh all the time, I'm here for him. Anytime he needs to be like, hey man, I'll pat you on the back and be like, hey, buy some shit. It make you feel good. It make you feel real good.
I don't know.
Some people use that do feel better. Yeah.
Collecting's just weird. Yeah, and I normally do. That's like I
retail therapy.
I wasn't supposed to get paid till Monday, but for some reason it went in early. And I've been wanting something from Fearsome Figures, and I'm just like, I should get it. No, why get it? What's the point? I'm probably gonna end up ordering it tonight now that I say it out loud.
Yeah.
But
come on, chat. Pushing. But it's not, man. No, I ordered. The only thing I ordered was that pack, and I was like, I said that needs to be the only thing I order. And I ordered a pack of those trading cards that are like the cover trading cards that they offered. If you look through the merch thing, they have Fangoria trading cards. I think it's like 10 per pack or something like that.
Yeah,
and it's old covers. I can't afford no Funkos, Johnny.
Yeah,
right?
I'm ready. I just sold one, so I have a blank spot that I need to put some in. But the only code you need for CSR collectibles is Josh's Hoarder Corner.
There you go, right there.
The Funko Pop 15 is a better code, so I would say go ahead and use that for this one. But man, I'm actually on CSR's website right now, oddly enough, because I was looking for something. But last thing I need to do is look at their Funkos. They just added some new ones, I see. Barry Gordon, Gabriel Iglesias, Sean Kemp. Yeah.
Just a few.
That's all I got. That's all I got going on.
All right, Josh. Let's hope the spring weather comes in. I'm glad you survived the eclipse.
Hell yeah. It was a great time. Family enjoyed it.
And, makes you feel better. Get you back into collecting, push some videos out. But I understand the slump sometimes. I'll get a few things in and set them aside. I'm like, man, I got to do this. But
yeah,
like I canceled a horror pack, the Blu-ray one, and that one gets good views.
Did you? I know you were kind of up and down about it for a while.
Yeah, because it is $40, and it will save $40. And I also canceled the signature series from Zobi, so that's a little bit over $80 right there. That's going to be saved.
Yeah, I knew you weren't very happy with that one. Like it's been kind of hit or miss.
Yeah, like I'd rather take that $40 and buy maybe 2 or 3 DVDs or Blu-rays that I have on my save list on Amazon.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So we'll call it a night. We've been doing it for an hour and 4 minutes, and Johnny just arrived late. So
He's a busy man.
listen,
All
I
right,
don't
we
know how
don't
he
know
does it.
exactly when we'll be back next. We have some important things to attend to this month, but we will be back in May, and we will have some fun
It's gonna be
new
May.
movie ideas for you.
Yeah, you never know. We might do what has Chuck not seen series, and we'll let Josh pick. I'll lay a list of movies and let Josh pick them.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So all right, we'll see everybody soon, and have a great week.
All right, later.